Hi everyone, Cory here with MindfulBit, and today I want to talk to you about time management. So I had a question that was submitted and they said, hey Cory, I feel like I have so many things to do and just not enough time to do it. What kind of advice do you have? So I'm going to give you 4 concepts that you can sort of think about and use that will help you with your time management. And I want to keep this relatively short, so I won't be able to give that much detail, but feel free to ask any questions in the comment section, get any clarifications that you need. So the first thing I want you to do is think about your relationship with time itself. How do you measure time? How do you measure your success? How do you know, I'm spending 4 hours doing this, that's valuable? So think about your relationship with time, your relationship with work, and your relationship with value. These things are all intertwined very deeply inside of our own mental models and our own idea of who we are. So who do you think you are? Are you someone who constantly needs to be working to feel value? Are you someone who constantly needs to fill every window of time so that they don't feel bored or restless? Think about the ways that you're filling your time. That's number 1. Number 2, I want you to think about how you're spending your time. Do you have goals set up? Do you know where you're headed? If you're not sure what your goals are, then how do you know you're spending enough time in these different areas? So maybe you're doing things that aren't even directly related to the goals that you want to accomplish, and maybe you're simply doing them because it's what you've always done and you haven't really thought about it. So actually start writing down the different tasks you're doing throughout the day and take a look, categorize them, see which ones are actually helping you and see which ones are no longer beneficial to you in the long run. The third one, this one is huge. There's a concept called the Pareto Principle. I want you to look it up. And basically it says that 20% of the work will give you 80% of the value. And that can be used in any domain of life. For instance, 20% of the English language is used in 80% of the conversations. 20% of the things you do in front of your child will influence 80% of their behavior. Rightly so, 20% of the tasks you're doing on a daily basis contribute to 80% of the results you're trying to get. So when you're going through your task list in step 2, try to notice which ones are part of that 20%. Let me give you an example. I do a 4-mile run every day, okay? After about the 3rd mile, that 4th mile is really tough. I'm really tired. I'm kind of exhausted. I really have to push myself, and it's hard work after that 3rd mile. So that's about 25%. So the 3 miles is 75% of my run. The last mile is 25%. Is that last mile worth all that pain that I'm going through to achieve it? Or is the 3 miles really giving me the majority of the benefit? So think about it. So my solution, well, maybe I run the first 3 miles and maybe I walk the last mile and then have a phone call with someone, connect with someone, because that connection has more value to me than that last 20% of the run. So think about creative ways to use the Pareto Principle. It's a very, very powerful thing. The 4th thing, evaluate your relationship with deadlines. This one's really interesting because for some reason we think when someone else gives us a deadline, it holds a lot more power and weight than when we give ourselves deadlines. And that's just not the case. You can set a deadline for yourself and follow it and perform it the same way as if someone gave you that deadline. So a lot of times, if our boss doesn't give us a deadline, we just don't really set expectations for ourselves. And that's wrong. You can set a deadline just as easily as your boss can set one for you. So think about that as well. Set some deadlines for yourself. And remember, the time it takes to do a task will fill however much time you allocate for that task. So if you give yourself 3 weeks to do something, it's going to take 3 weeks to do it. If you give yourself 2 days to do something, you'll do it in 2 days. So it's all a mental thing. But those are 4 quick steps. Like I said, leave in the comment section if you want to dive in depth on any of those. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit that like button if you enjoy this content, and I will definitely see you guys on the next video. Peace and love, my friends. Bye-bye.